Welcome. This is the Real Empowerment Podcast. My name is Rebecca Michael. I'm the Advocacy Manager for the Independence Center, and I'm with
Daniel Ratcliffe, the Benefits Coordinator at the Independence Center.
And we have a guest here with us that we are really excited to have because we have some disability, I guess, in common with our vision disabilities. So, Yolanda, if you want to introduce yourself.
Hi, thank you, Rebecca, and thank you, Daniel. So great to be here today with you. My name is Yolanda Avila, and I am on City Council. I've been on City Council for 2.5 years now. I serve District 4, which is the southeast part of town, and we are presently in southeast. Love the Sand Creek Library. It does so much for the community.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, and I'm here with my furry friend and my guide, partner in crime, Puma.
Hey, Puma.
I'm not sure who we have to keep an eye on more, Yolanda or Puma, because he can get himself in a little bit of trouble if he's sniffing something he shouldn't.
We should do an interview with Puma next.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think any of our eyes will work for catching Puma.
Right? He's gone.
He's gone. He's like, what? Are you talking about me right now?
Yeah, he can kind of get the tone about that.
Yes.
Well, let's dive into everything Yolanda.
Yeah.
So, you were raised here in Colorado Springs?
Yes, in 1958, my dad was stationed at Fort Carson.
Oh, okay.
And he just, he liked it, but my mom loved it. And she
Okay.
said, this is home base. So this became our home base. So when my dad was assigned to different areas of the nation, different states, we'd go and then we'd come back here.
Oh,
And
cool.
we'd see the difference. But my mom was very involved in the culture and community here. She was a dance teacher for ballet folklorico, dancing, and we had a dance group, and it was huge. We had about 10 men and 10 women and a bunch of little kids, boys and girls, and we performed all over the state. We performed in New
Wow.
Mexico. We performed in Kansas. So I have a connection with not only just living here in Colorado Springs, but with the culture, with the community, which we brought, it wasn't very diverse then.
Sure.
It's getting more diverse, but it wasn't then. So, yeah, I grew up here. And one of the earlier, when I was 12 years old, I worked on a city council campaign.
Did you?
Yes, his name was Lou Cortez. He just passed away about a year ago.
Oh.
But we would meet at Colorado College, and we do our work from there and canvassing and go canvass for Lou Cortez. And I remember just taking a lot of flyers and not really knowing what it's about, but just, wanting to do it and really excited when he won.
Sure.
Nice.
So this is my home, and I am the sixth in a family of 7.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's always fun.
Yeah.
Coming from a family of only 2.
No, I have 7 other siblings.
See, you had 7.
Yeah.
I only have me and my sister. So I can't imagine a big family.
Oh, you get to do a lot of stuff because everybody else is in trouble.
Well, you know what? It's like, okay, so I had 3 older brothers and 1 younger brother. But my whole family is very sports oriented. We could play, all the sports. And we had a ping pong table, we had croquet set,
Wow.
and we were always very involved. But my brothers didn't want to deal with me, so they would get me out right away, no matter what we were playing. I played
Dodgeball.
football with them. They would make sure I was out, but that really sharpened me because when I played kids my age, man, I was good.
Nice.
I beat the boys and the girls.
Nice.
Because I had my older brothers that wouldn't even give me a chance.
Sure.
And so it really did sharpen my
Yeah.
skills.
Your ability to navigate through a tough situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm going to share this story, is that when we lived in France, and we came back from France, and I went to Washington Elementary on the west side, and there were these Foursquare groups, right? Foursquare was being played by, I don't know, there was different Foursquare areas.
Yeah.
And I didn't even notice it, but I got in line to play Foursquare, and it came up to be my turn, and all the guys stopped and looked at me, and they go, "What are you doing here?" I go, "I'm going to play Foursquare."
Yeah.
And they go, "Girls don't play Foursquare." And I said, "Why not?" And they're like, "I don't know. They just don't." I was like, "Okay, well, I'm going to play." Well, I had played Foursquare with my brothers here again, right? So by the time I knew it, I had made it to the main square, and I was getting people out left and right.
Nice.
So after that, girls played Foursquare.
Of course.
So it was pretty cool.
You're a trendsetter at what age?
A trailblazer at 10, yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
It's about women power. So
Yeah.
I've always been, I could just say, pretty driven.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, that's awesome. So with being driven, what did you decide to go do in your career?
Okay, so I grew up here. I was married very young, and I had 2 children, Eutimio and Dulce. And Dulce is older, and I was married to somebody that was very, what would you call it, possessive?
Okay.
That would not allow me to go back to high school. I was afraid that I would meet other people.
Wow.
And at the time, I was just so interested into my kids, but I
Right.
wanted to finish my education.
Sure.
So after a while, and when I grew up, I was like, this is not for me. I was very antsy during the time I was staying home. Just
Sure.
very antsy. My house was spotless, and, it was just, I needed to get out. So
Yeah.
I went on to Pikes Peak Community College,
Okay.
where I ended up getting my GED. I went to Mitchell. I consider Mitchell my alma mater,
Okay.
but I didn't graduate from there.
Okay.
And so I got my GED at Pikes Peak Community College, and then and started to take college level classes.
Nice.
Eventually, I did really well, and I transferred over to Colorado College, where I got my degree in 1985.
Nice.
What is your degree in?
It's in international political economy, and that was a really tough course again.
I'm
right?
saying, like,
Right.
I'm just thinking that's a lot of numbers that I probably would not want to learn.
Yeah, it's economics, and it's pretty male dominated, right?
Oh,
It was
yeah.
at the time. I tend
Definitely.
to get in areas that are male dominated. I don't know why, but I had a professor at Colorado College, Adela de la Torre. She was an economics professor.
Could you say her name again?
Adela de la Torre.
Okay, I just had to hear that.
And she was like, I loved her, so I ended up taking every class I could with her. And before I knew it, I could graduate in economics. So I was like,
Nice.
okay.
You're like, wow, somehow I have all these credits in economics. And was that
Yeah.
something that you really wanted to do, or it just happened that you had found a mentor and an instructor that really engaged your imagination and your talent, and you just decided to go into that field?
Well, what it was I thought about, I need to do something where I can get a job and make money. At that time in my life, which I think is really a fallacy. I think when you do what you love,
Right.
the money follows.
Sure,
But
sure.
at that time, I'm young, right? And I'm thinking, I said, I'm going to go into business econ.
Okay.
I hated business, and I tolerated econ. But then I had this professor, and I was like, okay, I'm going to drop the business
Yeah.
and pick up political science.
Nice.
And that's that combination worked really well for me. I mean, I
cool.
think I love history.
Yeah.
So, like political economics and history would have been, political science and history would have been really great. But so that's what I ended up doing, and I ended up really enjoying it. But I had what do you call it? A love-hate relationship with Colorado College.
Okay.
Because it kicked my butt.
Yeah.
It was hard.
I bet.
It was really, really hard. I came from straight A's, 4.0, Dean's List at Pikes Peak Community College, and my first paper was a D.
Ouch.
And I was like,
Wait a
what's
minute.
going on? And it was really interesting is that the professor, her name was Sierra, Christina Sierra, and she's like, Yolanda, I'd like to show you what I'm looking for and how I want a paper written.
Oh.
And I have a student here is a really good example. And I read that student's paper. And that student was Elaine Salazar, who is Kenny Salazar, our U.S. Senator, who was U.S. Senator in
Okay.
Colorado's sister.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
And so I read it, I was like, who writes like that? It sounds like, this high caliber writing. And I was like, oh man, okay. So I ended up getting like a C+ in that class. But I took Christine Sierra, my last class,
Okay.
a political economics class. And she came up to me and she said, Yolanda, can I share your paper with a student that's struggling?
Look at you.
I want to show them what a good paper looks like.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so it was amazing. I had come full circle.
Yeah.
And, that's why I worked really, really hard.
That's really cool.
So
That's cool.
after I graduated, though, there was a recession here, and I
Okay.
couldn't find a job to save my life.
Okay.
And so I went to Denver, and I worked in nonprofits, helping women get off of public assistance and
Okay. Nice.
into job training or school or work.
Nice.
And
Okay.
they had better benefits than I did and everything. And it wasn't, I liked it, but you guys, the nonprofit world, right?
Yes, we do.
It's
We will only speak highly of the nonprofit world.
Yes,
while we're-
exactly.
well, honestly, it's a labor of love.
It truly
Very
is.
much
yes.
so. You got to love it to do it.
Yes.
It's not for the money, right?
Right.
And you're really doing something great.
Yep.
And that's so needed and so important.
Yeah.
So I did it for a couple of years, but I was like, I need to do something else. I made my way to California, and I did temp jobs, but there in California, I was offered every job that I applied for.
Wow.
But I wanted to get a job with the County of Orange as a criminal defense investigator trainee.
Okay.
And I was like, and I'd done, in the nonprofit, I'd done a lot of intake and interviewing and done all
Right.
that. And that's what they were looking for, somebody that could interview, somebody that wouldn't have a problem going to the jails, someone that was bilingual.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
And I said, oh,
Makes sense.
they're asking for Yolanda.
Yeah.
There you go.
And this is how long ago it was. This was in 1989. In 1990. It was in the classified ads. Can you
Wow.
imagine looking for a job like that now?
I don't even think kids
No.
know where that is.
It's all online now. You have to search. You have to know the keywords. You need to, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I was temping, and I was covering for this woman on maternity leave.
Okay.
And she's, the president comes out. It's a machine shop, and there's about 30 employees. They're machinists? Yeah.
Yeah, machinist. Yeah.
And they come to me and say, hey, we'd like you to take this position. I said, isn't that illegal? Like, well,
Right.
we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Oh,
but we
wow.
really want you to stay here because, we just have to show you once and you got it.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, oh, no, I'm just doing this until I get a job. I go, I've applied at the County of Orange and I'm going to be an investigator.
Right.
And they're like, no, you're not. You have to know somebody to do this to get in.
Oh, my goodness.
And you don't know anybody because you're from Colorado.
Oh,
Right.
no.
I was like, I just smiled, right?
You're like,
I was like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to, take this position.
You have a goal.
I have things to do.
Yes.
And so, 3 weeks later, I was offered the position.
Nice.
Yeah.
See,
So
there you go.
I-
Yes, faith and putting it out in the universe
Yep.
and visualizing what your goal
what
is.
I wanted, and I loved it because as a youngster, I wanted to be a teacher.
Okay.
And then I was very interested in criminal law.
Okay.
And so almost like I got the best of both worlds. And I'll tell you why is because when I got hired, I became a field supervisor to the local universities and state colleges. And I was in charge, over my tenure, about 220 interns
Wow.
that I, field supervisor, but I mentored.
Okay.
And I wrote a lot of letters of recommendation. A lot of them became judges, attorneys, of course, CIA, FBI. They went to do a lot of great things. But it was such a privilege for me to teach them what I was doing and to do it. So by 1995, I've been promoted. I'm having a great time. I'm in working out of the court in Newport Beach, California.
Nice.
Okay.
So I've just gotten a promotion and I bought a car. I bought a Toyota Camry, fully loaded, sunroof, the whole thing.
Rewarded yourself.
Yeah, and I was just like, I looked out and I could see the palm trees, right? And I was like, oh my God, I am so grateful. And I've told this story a lot of times. It's like, I was issued one of those cell phones that were as heavy as a brick.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the day too, right?
Yes.
And I'd gotten off the phone and I thought, because I'd asked people, do you need subpoenas? You want me to pick up anything?
Mm-hmm.
And I got off that phone thinking, man, this is the life. I got money in my pocket. I've got a ride. I love my job. I mean, love it. And I was like, what else can be better? Then I started to have experiencing problems with my vision, and in particular nighttime. So in 1998, I was diagnosed with retinitis pigmentosa.
Okay.
And they didn't tell me what that meant. The doctor was really didn't want to tell me, like, well, what's the prognosis? What's going to happen? And I said, is it like macular degeneration, or? And they're like, well, yeah, kind of, but not really. And
that's helpful.
But it's And he said this: there's not going to be a cure in your lifetime.
Yep.
Wow.
And I was like, what? I'm like, hey, God, this was not the plan. We
had a conversation
I'm working
about this.
hard. I busted my butt. Sometimes I didn't have enough money to put gas in my car to go to school, so I would just hoof it.
Right.
And I was like, no, you know that I worked hard, and I was going to be chief investigator. No, I was like, what the heck?
Right.
And then and a fog came over me for about 2 years.
Okay.
I hid losing my vision at the time. What happened is after I got the diagnosis, I went to the bookstore again, right?
Yes.
Bookstores were thriving.
That's how we used to research.
Yep. And I went and picked up a book on eye conditions and retinitis pigmentosa. And I read that the prognosis was total blindness. I was like, what? Nuh-uh.
I don't have time for that.
I know. I was like, and this is where I was. And I thought, what can blind people do? What are they capable of doing? Like, I never really thought about what it was like to be blind, to have a disability.
Sure.
Other than thinking they couldn't do anything, or people in wheelchairs.
Yeah.
That they needed to be taken care of.
Right.
And here I am, this very driven, taking care of everybody else, supporting people to reach their goals, their dreams. And here I'm going to become a burden, and I'm going to need to be taken care of.
Right.
So, Yolanda, not to cut you off, but just for our listeners, could you describe retinitis pigmentosa for them, like how an individual that experiences that or lives with that generally sees?
Yeah, and and that's a tough one because Daniel, right?
Yes.
You have the same thing, right?
Well, I have the opposite. I have Stargardt's, so it's juvenile macular degeneration. Yeah, but I have a lot of friends that have retinitis pigmentosa. I have maybe 3 friends that have it.
Hey, that's the cool eye condition.
It really is.
RP is the coolest.
It really is.
I totally need to know how.
No, we're just being competitive about being blind.
What?
Well, no, I think it's cool because my friends have 20/20 vision, but it's inside of a pinhole.
Okay.
So as long as it's not like on the outsides in their peripheral view, and they can kind of focus on it, they can pick up a book and read it. At this point in time.
Okay.
And I was like, man, that's pretty cool. I wish I could I'll trade you, or maybe I'll give you one of my eyes.
Well, but there's so many different kinds of even retinitis pigmentosa. So retinitis pigmentosa is that the cells, in the retina are dying. So our cells are made up of rods, which read the detail, you could read and see detail. Like, I have no idea what food is on my plate. I just know that there's food there.
Yeah.
And I kind of I get surprised sometimes.
Oh yeah.
And so
Surprised. Like, oh, I wasn't expecting that to come in
Do
my
you ever
mouth.
have to ask someone what is this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that too.
Okay.
Where's my fork? Yeah.
Or pick up the wrong fork. That's bad.
Yeah. So the cones, so your retina is so that you see, and to see in color, you have cones.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so in my case, I don't have the tunnel vision part of retinitis pigmentosa.
Okay.
Because that went away in one day.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
From one day to another.
Wow.
I had all these eye tests, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was reading The Runaway Juror by John Grisham. And I came home and I was looking at my book. I couldn't see the print on the pages. And I was like, well, it'll come back tonight.
Uh-huh.
And it didn't come back.
Oh, wow.
And it'll come back tomorrow. And it didn't come back. And I was like, oh, it'll come back by the end of the week. It didn't come back. And I was like, holy jamoly, right?
Yeah.
And so in the retina, you see the detail, you see the color. And it's just the size of a pinhead. It's really
Wow.
tiny, the retina. And it I have gotten such appreciation for what eyes do,
Yes.
Uh-huh.
what our
Yes.
eyeballs do. It's just
Yes.
incredible, I mean, when you think that you could look out at the stars and the moon that are millions and millions
Yes.
of miles, away, or it's just incredible what the eye does. And so I lost that central vision, and now I have big holes in my peripheral.
Okay.
And so one of the things that, in hindsight, I think it was in my early 20s, when I would go to the movies and say, why do they make all the scenes at night? It seemed like they made all the scenes at night. Well, they weren't at night, but I was already having issues with darkness.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't realize that until,
Sure.
way after my diagnosis,
Sure.
that this was happening. And so I was going through this thing as like, I think I'm just going to have to go on disability, move back to Colorado, and that was in the year 2000. In 1998, right? In the year 2000, I was like, I'm just going to have to come back and live with my mom and die.
Right. You felt it was more like a death sentence.
I felt like it was a death sentence.
Right.
And then I hid my eye condition. So in the millennial, for the change of the millennial, I came and spent it here with my family. You didn't know what was going to happen.
Exactly.
And
That
we're really
Y2K
excited about
thing.
it, right?
I was so
Y2K.
scared.
God.
You were.
I was scared.
Oh, man.
I thought it was over.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm like,
No.
let me hang out here.
Yeah,
I was
like,
super young.
bring it on.
Yeah. Oh, well, my family had a big old party because that's just how we roll. But when I went back, I was found out, and my boss found out, and he goes, will you write these interviews about these investigations that you're doing? It looks like you've been there, but you did them over the phone. And we're allowed to do that, right?
Right.
He goes, but you have such detail. And I was like, I know. And I was like, I know. He goes, oh, honey.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, wasn't the Me Too thing that's going on now.
Right,
He
right.
genuinely was like, why didn't you tell
Just
us?
tell
We
me."
will do everything to support you.
Right.
And so you've taken care of us. We are going to take care of you.
Nice.
So they, got the
awesome.
computer, we got the JAWS program, got the readers, and scanners, and I did, I went to go do mobility. I got a cane at that time, and I started to come out of that fog.
Nice.
Right.
And I was like, man,
Nice.
I could still do a lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's so much I am capable because, and I say this a lot too when I'm out speaking, is that our five senses are just that tip of the iceberg.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the depth and breadth of who we are is that huge old
Yes.
iceberg,
Yes.
And then I still have all those experiences, and I still have all that background education and knowledge. And it's like,
Yeah.
and now I have something, a whole different perspective.
Yes.
And
Right.
so I came out of the fog after Y2K, right? And started to hit it.
Right.
Wow.
And continued to get, raises and doing well and continued to, where I gave a lot more responsibility to my interns, which really worked out for them.
Right.
And so it just, but I had to go through that stage. And so if you're listening out there in podcast land, it's okay to go through that stage and, those 5 stages of grief. And
Right.
because I did a lot of bargaining. I did a lot of, I was angry and,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
and, but I did come to acceptance.
Yeah, I call it the ADA: angry, denial, and acceptance.
Oh yeah, the
That's what I
denial, that
call
was
it.
Yeah.
big time, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
went through it.
It's coming
for
back,
sure.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Denial happens,
sure.
At a point where you've already set up your life. You already have envisioned how you're going to live your life, how you want to live your life, what goals you have set, and how you're going to get there. But then when you have that barrier that's put in front of you, either by a diagnosis or something that you were not expecting, and maybe an injury that was not expected, then you end up having to pull yourself out because you're literally in denial, and that's kind of where some of the creativeness comes from, I guess, for individuals who have invisible disabilities, because we're spending so much time trying to
Figure it out.
compensate.
Yeah.
Because
That's the word, compensate.
we don't want to reveal what's going on,
Really.
because we have denied ourselves the right to kind of go, okay, I need to figure out something different. So now you either overcompensate, or you're, compensating to a point where now you're exhausted by the end of the day,
Yep.
because you don't want to be found out.
Definitely. Yolanda, so first let me ask, do you prefer to be called Congresswoman? Not Councilwoman. I said Congresswoman. Hey, I'm speaking that into existence.
Right,
Speaking
Daniel,
into
go.
existence.
May as well say senator.
Exactly. Yeah,
There we
exactly.
go.
She's
So
like,
do
give
you
me all the
prefer to be
titles.
Councilwoman or just Yolanda?
Yolanda's fine. I think it depends on the setting, and I feel like
Understand.
in this area where we are right now, today's sitting, that it's informal, and
Yeah.
I'm
Awesome.
among friends
Cool.
and people that really understand, the
Yes.
situation.
Yeah.
Nice. I wanted to ask, did you have any, first, what was your experience like the first time you were introduced to another individual that was blind and you worked side by side with them? Let's say your O&M instructor or any individual that you had worked with after your disability began.
Yeah, well, all of them were sighted, but this,
Okay.
well,
Interesting.
That is interesting.
One time, what I did is once I was coming into acceptance, right, I called the Braille Institute in Orange County. They have the Braille Institute. And I talked to this woman, and she was answering the phone, and I said, listen, I just I got this diagnosis. I want to figure out what I could do. I want to be part of the Braille Institute and figure out how to maneuver myself now. And she goes, well, I go, and I think I'm going to need a cane. And she goes, well, it's going to be horrible, because as soon as I started using a cane, people stopped talking to me. They stopped wanting to be around me, and it was horrible. And I was like, oh. And for a moment I thought, wow. And I thought, well, that's not my personality.
Right.
I don't think that will happen with me, but okay. I didn't say that to her. I just said, okay, well, thank you. When's the next meeting, or when I can. So then when I met other people that were going to the Braille Institute that were blind, I felt like it was great. It was like it was so good, because there was someone else. I wasn't alone.
Yeah.
Right.
I
You were
wasn't
like, "My
alone in the
people."
world. Yeah.
Right.
And very accomplished people.
Yes.
Right.
Like me.
Right.
Yes.
And so I met other people that were accomplished and were going through mobility, and they were using Metro Mobility, which was called Access in California, and showing you the shortcuts, or how to, where where to go, to different places to eat even, or
Right.
wherever.
Just how to navigate life.
Yeah, just to navigate, right?
Yeah, uh-huh.
In an easier way. So I quickly, would make friends with other persons with, I consider myself blind. To the basic reason is that I'm not able to get in a car and drive.
Right.
I'm not able to, determine what's on my plate. I'm not able to read print. And yes, I can get around because I still have some vision where I see, little more than shadows at times, depending on the lighting.
Okay.
If it's dusk to dark, it's 100%, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But if there's light in the room, I can kind of pick up. I can tell where my dog is. I can tell it's my dog. And if I know you really well, I can figure it out. That's Rebecca. That's Daniel.
Right,
I
right.
could figure that out. A lot of times I'm wrong, right? And
But
I
that's
have
okay.
Me too.
I have enough vision to actually be dangerous. So
See, that's good to know.
yeah.
We're messing up the whole Congress run.
Yeah, I
We're
know.
messing that. We just messed that up.
So I just have enough of that, but it's empowering. It's almost too like when I'm with other women of color and Latinas. It's
Right.
you just feel like you're with your peeps.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
And then in the blind world, with people that are experiencing what I'm experiencing, I feel like I'm with my peeps. And not so much that it's more because we have the same type of perspective.
Yeah.
We
Right.
know each other what
Yep.
we're going through. We get told the same thing. It's like, well, aren't there any cures? Let's study.
Yeah.
Can't you wear glasses?
Why don't you buy glasses?
Why don't
Yeah.
you do this? And like we haven't researched everything thoroughly.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't do that, but
Right.
we get asked these same
Yes.
questions. We get told, "Watch your step." I was like, "Okay, how do I watch it?"
Can't do that, but okay. Thanks for the
Constantly
warning.
being told, "Be careful, be careful." Be
Yeah.
careful." Well, we cannot go on automatic pilot like most people can.
Right.
We cannot, because the minute we do, the minute I've done it, boom.
You get
Yeah.
hurt.
So
Yeah.
we're constantly being careful.
Right.
But it just like, be careful, be careful. And people grab you and
Yes.
try
yeah.
to and they pull you, and that's when you lose your balance.
Exactly.
And so it's, and I know being with my peeps, being with others that are going through the same thing, we know, right? And we joke about it. And
Definitely.
to tell you the truth, I laugh about it. People think, oh, is that wrong to say that I saw this or did you see that? Like,
Right.
no, you don't change
Okay.
your language.
Exactly.
It's all cool, and I'll
Those
be
are-
the first to tell a blind joke.
Yeah.
My
Oh, yeah,
blind
me
friends
too.
are the worst.
Oh,
they
they-
have the worst blind jokes where you're like, you cannot say that outside of this room. Like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
But it's funny. You have to laugh at it, man. It's better than sitting around and moping and
Right.
feeling, what was me? Why did this happen? Like, you get past that and you have to recover and you have to be strong and you have to make. Everybody has a challenge
Right.
in their life, whether visible, invisible. Everybody has a challenge, and it's
Yep.
better to laugh at it and grow from it than to dwell in it.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true, and so I'll get to the part on, not to that part, but so I retired, right? I retired in 2011.
Nice.
So and I wanted to come back because my mom was going to turn 90, and this is my city. I love Colorado Springs. This is my place.
Sure.
Nice.
But I get back, and buses are running Monday through Friday.
Yolanda wasn't having it.
A third of the city lights are out.
What are you doing, people?
I was like, okay, well, I'll walk.
It's not walkable.
If there's sidewalks,
Yeah.
they're not walkable.
Yeah.
Right.
And so in California, the transition from driving to taking the buses and walking, every sidewalk in all sidewalks have accessible ramps. The buses are
nice.
passing every 15, 20, 30 minutes.
Wow.
All just right outside where I live. So I could choose to walk to work, which is 2 miles away, or I could drive. I mean, not drive, take a bus.
Right.
And so the transition was made easier for me. So I come here and I'm like, how do I get to a grocery store? How do I
Right.
do this? Because I deliberately moved and bought a home right close 6 blocks away from my mom so that I could walk there.
Right.
But I was like, well, how do I get to other places?
Right.
In a timely manner. And I began to feel isolated. You know,
Yeah.
you get,
Yeah.
I was getting sad and isolated.
Yep.
And I thought I made the biggest mistake in my life.
I'm sure.
I was like,
I'm sure you did.
I could be in California, and I still have a condo over there, and have all this.
It's okay.
It's all good.
Yeah.
We keep it authentic around
Yes, we
here.
do. You're a
How?
busy woman.
You know, everything set up for me. The major grocery store was. So that's an aid, right? That
right.
I have for
Yes.
my voiceover on my
Yes.
iPhone, but was 2 small city blocks away.
Okay.
To the east. To the west, I mean, there was hotels and Starbucks and all these nice restaurants. And I was in an enclave, so it wasn't like I was on this busy street because
Sure.
I was just off the street. Across the street was a Target, tons of, hole in the wall type of restaurants, which I think are the best.
Yes, they are.
And just there was so much there, and I come here and there's not a restaurant I can walk to. There's fast foods. There's not, I was like, what?
What is going on?
What's happened? So I
Right.
wanted to leave, but then I was like, nope. And that's how I went to city council, and I started to talk about, they were talking about the rates for raising for metro mobility, and they were talking about getting rid of FRACs, which they did, the front range.
Right.
Yeah.
Which was replaced by the Mustang many years later.
Yeah. So I went up to talk about my experience. I don't remember exactly what I said.
Uh-huh.
But Patricia Yeager, who I didn't know, I didn't know her, and she came up to me and she said, will you be a part of our organization? We're doing organizing for transit, and you would be just so great on
Your
it.
passion showed through.
Yes,
Amazing.
so I was like, okay.
Sure. Happy to help.
I thought, and she goes, you don't realize that people don't speak up like you do. And I was like, they don't.
Why not? What's
Right.
wrong with them? Yeah.
So I got on organizing for transit
Oh,
and
wow.
started with, getting the buses increased. And it took
Yeah.
a while, but, in 3 years, we got 7 days a week and evening routes. And
Yeah.
So then I'm going to just kind of make it shorter, but
Sure.
based on that and how I wanted to continue on the infrastructure
Yeah.
here in the Southeast in transit and now economic development, I ran for city council. So I ran in 2015.
Okay.
And so this is a where I had to realize again that I'm not sighted. So when you get a lot of surveys when you're running, and they're from a bunch of different organizations, and when they want to know your position
Yes.
on different issues,
Like voter guide.
yeah,
questions.
exactly.
Yes.
The voter guides. So I was getting they were saying, oh, well, we've asked you 3 times and you've been non-responsive. And we're going to say you're non-responsive. And
Wow.
so in the League of Women Voters in the Downtown Partnership, like, this is a friendly reminder, will you fill out the survey? And I was like, I was by myself. I
Right.
had no help. I was running by myself in 2015. I got dropped off for my first forum by Metro Mobility, and I walked down this alleyway with a bunch of holes at the West Side Community Center.
Uh-huh.
And everybody there had their campaign managers, their spouses,
Right.
everything. I was completely by myself.
Wow.
And then I thought to myself, I am doing this like I'm a sighted person. I'm not sighted.
No.
Yolanda,
Right.
face reality.
Yeah.
Right.
You need help in certain areas, and
Yeah.
it's okay.
Yep.
So I started with, I called the League of Women Voters, and I go, this is the situation. I'm blind. I want to do these surveys. And it was Julie, because I'll never forget her because we became really good friends. She goes, "Oh, just dictate it to me and we'll fill it out."
Nice.
And I've just felt this weight off my shoulder.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so she did that. And then, so in the Downtime Partnership, they were super nice too. And they were like, "Oh, Yolanda, well, we set an appointment time. And we dictated it, and so I filled that all out.
Right.
So I got to know what it was like, and and by the end of that race, I felt like I got my sea legs, and that I knew that I could do it.
You figured it out.
Yeah, and I knew it was, I don't count it as a loss. I count it as a practice run.
Yes, that's how I would have seen it too.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I learned so much. So then I ran again, and I did a candidate class, and where I ended up getting the National Trailblazer Award from Emerge America.
Wow.
And I got a team together, and my team grew, and so I knew how to run, and I did it, and I was able to. So it's been a little rocky road in terms of getting accessibility there, in council. Mm-hmm. But I think there was an interesting thing that happened. So we did council pictures with the mayor for Christmas, right? And it was on my Facebook, and somebody says, "I don't get the dog. I just don't get the dog." And
that was a comment on your Facebook page?
Yeah. And another person on the Facebook said, "That's her guide dog, stupid." Something like that.
You gotta love social media.
Yeah. People calling each other out. Like, come on now.
Because I won't get involved in that stuff. Right. And so, and that was funny. But there was an interesting thing that happened. And I know people that really feel about it. And maybe you could tell me from your perspective what you heard.
Sure. So I had asked Yolanda if it was okay if we brought this up during the podcast, because I think it's really relevant for us to talk about some disability awareness and some etiquette, because we are individuals who live with a vision disability, no matter what part of the spectrum you're on in the vision spectrum. And one of my staff had attended the city council meeting this week on July 9th. And today is July 12th, so for anybody who needs some sort of some timeline perspective. And while she was there, she had sent me a text message, shocked at in a exchange that happened from the dais. And so I asked her to kind of give me a little bit of reference about what happened, and she had said that during the citizens discussion that someone had come up and was pretty passionate about their perspective on a few things. And as they were walking away, they pointed at Yolanda and said, "I don't appreciate you wearing glasses while I speak." And it really took her...
Sierra.
Yes. Really took her by surprise. And she had said, well, as he walked by me, I told him she's blind and I don't think he heard me. And I said, well, I'm pretty sure that Yolanda stuck up for herself. But I want to go watch the video back to see what happened. And so I was able to do that and kind of watch what happened. And the reaction that you had was something that I would have likely been over the dais. I likely would have just jumped, came around and got in someone's face. And Daniel, you said your reaction would have been similar.
I'm way more Malcolm X than I am Martin Luther King. I'll tell you that much.
But I think that, as someone in a public position, I think it's really relevant to hear how you handled it and what your perspective was on what happened.
We, as you know, Daniel, we deal with this on a whole daily basis.
Right.
In fact, it's important where I sit, right? I sit in a way where the sun's in back of me or the direct light's in back of me.
Right.
And not facing harsh light or the the direct sun or the direct light.
Well, there's a lot of lights in the council chambers anyways. I
Yeah.
think because of the video needing to need extra light.
Exactly.
So that totally makes sense.
And so the city council members in my different boards and commissions that I'm on are used to that. They'll actually really assist me in closing the shades and
Sure.
or making. I'll say this spot is the best spot for me to sit. I'd like to sit here.
Right.
And so on the dais, there are, because of it's on TV, there's really, really harsh lights.
Yes.
That face us. So
It is bright.
yeah, it's very bright. And you know, the glasses that I have cost like $375.
That's what I'm talking
There's-
about.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Versace shades? You got the Versace shades?
I don't know. I go through my doctor and he sends them across the nation.
Of course.
And they totally fix it
Nice.
to
It's
my
amazing how expensive assistive
Yes.
Yeah,
devices are.
that's
Yeah.
a whole
nother
other topic, right? How they make those just
Yes. Don't
yeah.
even get me started on how much my eye costs.
yeah,
Man.
it just
Yes.
so those glasses are special made for me to be able to handle that
Sure.
that degree of light.
Sure.
But at the same time, they're kind of a little heavy. So after I'm wearing them for a couple hours or something, every once in a while I take them off just to get a break.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's but people don't understand that it literally causes pain.
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
having retinitis pigmentosa is not painful, right? It's not like having cancer or
Sure.
just these other things. But when you're faced with the light directly, it's painful, and
Yes.
and they don't get it. Even people that are totally blind, their eyeballs hurt
Yes.
when that sun
Yep.
or that harsh light is directed to them.
Right.
So when I heard, I was listening to it. We have citizens discussion at the beginning of each council meeting. Well, pretty near to the beginning.
Sure.
And he was talking about banning plastic bags because of how they were polluting. Then he went on to, I think, guns and
Locking up guns, yeah.
locking those up. And I thought, well, he's pretty passionate. But then it was kind of out of the blue as he was leaving. It was like, and I don't appreciate you having your glasses on. I don't remember the exact words. And I was like, sir, let me explain.
Right.
And my colleagues on the dais said, he's gone.
Yeah.
And so, but I do want to say that maybe I do need to just talk about it on the dais.
Yes.
Because if this gentleman was affected by that, how many others are thinking, why does she do that? And not
Right.
really knowing. And so maybe it's an appropriate time to just say, hey, this is why I'm wearing these glasses.
You're going to have to do some disability awareness training.
Yeah,
Right.
and it's constant. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes I just want to be normal.
Yes, yes.
I am normal, but you know what I mean.
Yes,
And
well, you don't
not-
have to
is real.
disclose that you're
we're
vigilant.
constantly educating.
Yes.
And sometimes it seems like we're getting preferred treatment.
Yes.
Right.
And that
you
is
know,
not the case.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
think that we're getting preferred treatment, and it's like, dude, I will trade my eyeballs
Yes.
with you anytime. Like,
Yes.
you're
Yeah.
so lucky you have a dog. And I was like, well, yeah, I love him. I appreciate him,
Yeah.
and this is
He
great.
provides that
but
service
if I
I
didn't
need and-
need a dog,
Right.
and
Right.
could just have a pet,
Right.
that would be just cool with me.
I know.
So I don't, when they start to think, so with ADA laws and disability awareness with people in the field and supporting us, they know that we're just being, that it's an equal field level, right?
Yes.
Being on the
Right.
field, which
Right.
it still isn't, but
Right.
getting there as much as possible. But others that don't have this situation think you're being given an advantage
Right.
or that you're being treated special.
Right.
And so it's probably just an ongoing
Right.
educational process.
Right. Exactly.
We get tired of it, though.
Yeah, I spend a lot of
Sometimes.
time just educating individuals when they interact with me, and I've had employers get upset because I don't see like a customer at the front of the store initially. Well, I'm blind on my right side, so you can't necessarily
Pick it
hold
up.
that against me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also when you when you hold a disability against somebody, you do so much damage in many, many levels.
Yes.
It impacts their self-esteem, their self-worth, how they view themselves, how they even present themselves.
How they view other people.
Exactly. So really, I think that you have such a platform to be able to provide that education, and you're not going to be insulting about it or condescending. You're just going to say, this is why. And if you have questions, don't hesitate to ask, because I'm not doing something that's going to, that would intentionally hurt somebody or offend someone.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And give people the chance to give an answer
Yeah.
as well. Like, let me explain.
Yeah. He
You know,
just
don't just
darted out
assume.
of the council room. I was like, whoa, I was just shocked.
To some extent, though, you just have to have a tough skin, right?
Yeah.
Have a tough
That's
skin.
life. Yep.
Yeah.
And me, I like that. I wasn't hurt or anything. I was just, it was just interesting, right?
Yeah.
But I
Something
think
new
it just said more about him
Yeah.
than me. So I didn't take it personally. There's so many things I work on. Just, you don't take it personal because he was going through something. So I have to say that he did call the office.
Oh,
And he
good.
might have heard your
Like
colleague.
Sierra.
he might have heard her because he said that he wanted to apologize to me and the council.
Oh, that's good.
And his son had just died.
Oh.
So that's another thing is like we never know what people are going through,
Yeah.
or what they're having a bad day or a bad year, and we just never know. So I learned that there's probably, when I get comments like that, there's something going on in their life that's, that they're acting out.
Sure.
And so
There's some sort of
sometimes we're the
reaction.
easy targets, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yolanda,
Well, you're like
this is why
literally
you
sitting
are-
ducks right in front of a council meeting. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
unfortunately.
This is why you're on city council, and I will probably never be. Because I'm not at that point. I'm growing into that.
He's like, I just haven't hit that maturity level yet.
I'm growing into that. Hopefully, I'll get to that point. You say something crazy to me, you better
Better step back, Jack, right?
you better hope I'm having a good
Look
day.
that.
Yeah, look out. Well, Yolanda, thank you for coming in to talk to us. I had a great time. How about you, Daniel?
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fun being here.
Where's Sierra?
Yeah, I know. We're waiting for coffee, and she hasn't gotten here yet. But it's all right. We'll caffeinate Yolanda before she goes out to the
Okay.
world. But I want to give you some kudos as a person who has a vision disability to someone who is a role model
Yes.
for us.
Yes.
You have encountered a disability that have easily deviated your path.
Yeah.
But you stuck the course. You maintained your personal goals, which have been just a great example to us. So just for me, a person who has a vision disability, to someone who has really overcome. Thank you for that. I appreciate
thank
it.
you.
Oh, I
Yolanda.
appreciate it from you, Rebecca and Daniel. We all know what it's like, right?
Yes, the
And
struggle
it's
is real.
not all that bad. It's not like a death sentence.
No.
It's just like
No.
a little nuisance thing. And,
Right.
and we'll kick it to the curb. We can still, handle it.
Right,
And
right.
I didn't become the chief of a chief investigator, but I became a city council member
Yes.
and the board of directors for the utilities. So
Nice.
it's all good.
Yeah, still creating change.
Soon to be Congresswoman.
He's like,
All right.
keep saying
I'm
senator.
speaking it. Senator.
Senator.
Well, let's just step it up. President of the United States. Let's just go for it.
That's a whole other topic, too. Thanks. It was great to be with you, Rebecca and Daniel.
definitely.
So.
Yes.
Well,
Thank you.
If you want to, check out Yolanda, go ahead and check her out on her Facebook page. And is it you just search you and you'll come up, or is there a special page they should go to?
It's Yolanda Avila for City Council
Okay.
on my Facebook page.
Okay.
Go on ahead and like it.
Okay.
And we just changed. We just migrated for our City Council.
Email addresses.
Yes, email
Okay.
address.
I can
but,
put it on the description too. So if they want to shoot you an email.
Yeah,
We can
it would
definitely
be
do that.
great. I love to hear from constituents, and
Awesome.
we've been able to get some stuff done. So
Yeah, exactly.
it's pretty exciting.
Very motivated to get further things to change. So
So cool.
if you want to come and visit us at the Independence Center, Our address is 729 South Tejon here in Colorado Springs. And if you want to reach out to us via phone, that number is 719-471-8181, and then just ask for Rebecca or Daniel. And then if you want to continue to like and share our Podomatic podcast, you're welcome to do that. You just go to Podomatic and search Real Empowerment, and our podcast page will come up. And then also on YouTube, you can just go to Real Empowerment, and you'll be able to like and share and see that accessible podcast with captions.